So what we have done this time is we have tried a mix of pedagogy. Pedagogy means teaching strategies. Okay. One thing is that, I have been lecturing to you from the podium, but you have also done case study analysis. You have also done role play. Do you like this mixture of different strategies? Do you think we can continue it for the next year? Because you people will be going into the third year, and third year is going to be very intense module. You are the one who refused to leave the class. I will give all my points of dinner. Is this fine, this mix of pedagogy? நாங்கள் மாத்திரம் இங்கேருந்து பேசுகிறத விட்டுட்டு you should also participate, you should also think. That is the idea. Because we are not just giving you information, we are training you to leadership roles, right? Whether you get into public sector or private sector, you should be able to articulate, you should be able to think on your feet and solvanga. Situation varum, you will have to, at that time, spotlight, you will have to think and find a solution, right? So that is what we are training you for. The rest of it is background. So next time it is going to be more and more of participation, not just நாங்கள் இங்கே நின்று கேளுங்க. You will study, you will analyze, you will sit along with me and discuss. Okay, we will do that as a collective exercise. So that's how it is going to be, and that is what will actually train you for life and your career, whichever career. You should write civil services, even if you join corporate sector, if you are facing an interview, if you have to make a presentation, you have to lead your team. For everything, this kind of training will help you. And more government and private sector working together. So when I joined civil services, private sector patti we need not know anything. But இப்போ private and public sector are together doing a lot of projects together, right? So then I also had to learn how to read a contract, okay, how to work out terms and conditions in a tender. Adhe madri corporate sector, first for example IT sector, when it first started in India, it was a separate bubble. They were not part of the, it was very prosperous, doing very well, but there was no interaction with other sectors. But now IT sector is everywhere. Okay, and today also we will see a little bit how IT enters even governance. So then they also have to learn how public sector works, how government works. Okay. So this is something that I want you to understand, that I am not trying to just give you information. Information in your internet, you can just PDS na enna, it will give you Wikipedia or 2 page கொடுத்துடும், right? PDS பற்றி ஒரு essay எழுதுனா chat GPT உங்களுக்கு எழுதி கொடுத்துடும். பட் உங்கள் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங்கில் அது வரணும். ஓகே, ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷனில் if you have to deal with the situation, how you will deal with exactly the same situation you may not get. Okay, but you will get some other situation where this will be useful. So that is what we are trying to do. And if you are comfortable, because I found that your class is very receptive to participation, if you are comfortable, we will do this mix of strategies. Okay, I will also tell you something, but I will also expect you to participate and give as much as you get, right? Okay, today we are looking at Annabhagya. யாராவது கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா Annabhagya? Now Annabhagya is Karnataka's flagship scheme. Okay, presently இப்போ அங்கே இருக்கிறது, we are having a Congress government with Siddaramaiah as chief minister. 10 years back, Congress had come to power again with Siddaramaiah as chief minister. The first thing, as soon as he took oath, he went to the office and signed the policy document of Annabhagya. But Annabhagya is not a new scheme. It's not a 5-year-old or 10-year-old scheme. It has been here before independence, right? So this is something which you please understand. There is a long history to the long history to what is called the public distribution system, PDS. Last time when one of the classes when we spoke, you people were mentioning ration shops. Remember? So through ration shops, government distributes food grains and other supplies to the poor. Okay, as Shivaranjani mentioned. So PDS has been in existence since World War II. Independence, you know that there was partition. There were many refugees who came from the other side, that is from Pakistan side into India, and from India also people went to Pakistan. So there was a lot of movement. Those who came from Lahore or Karachi, they were in refugee camps. So immediately government had to take care of them, and so PDS was expanded throughout the country. Okay, until today it is there. Theoretically, PDS is available to everybody, not only to poor. Even I can go to the ration shop and ask for PDS. But for the poor, it is available either at a very subsidized rate or completely free. So PDS is a central government scheme, right? State buys rice and wheat from center. So when Shivaranjani said it is Karnataka scheme, yes, it is Karnataka scheme. Tamil Nadu also has a similar scheme. All states have their schemes. The basic PDS scheme, that is distribution of rice and wheat. So you can see here that the photographs are mainly of rice and wheat. That is done by the central government at a subsidized rate. But state governments have added to it. Poorest of the poor, Romba Elengalukku free rice. So that amount which central government charges, that is not charged by the state government. State governments give it free. This is one difference. That is why it becomes a state Annabhagya. Otherwise it will be generally called PDS. And there is a PDS Act also. There is a legal backing. Not only that, you are seeing there Uppu, Enne. Here also, here I think even soap, many things are available under the similar scheme. What is the name in Tamil Nadu? Anybody knows? PDS scheme. What is the name? Anyone knows? I also, in Karnataka, you are aware? Just check. Karnataka, it is called Annabhagya, right? But it is basically the old PDS scheme with additions and greater subsidies. And it is available all over India, right? So this is the basic. So which is the department? Anybody knows which is the department which implements the scheme? Enna scheme irundhala adu implement pandradhukku oru department irukum. Which is the department, Amrithishri? What is the department called? Obvious answer. Anyone? இங்கே இருக்க ஆன்சர் ஸ்க்ரீனை படித்தா. The department is called Food and Civil Supplies, right? Okay. Because we are distributing food grains. Civil supplies is all the other things. Dal, soap, oil, sugar. So I remember when I was a child, we used to go and buy from the ration shop, arisiyum eduthupom, sugar eduthupom, other things. But my grandmother used to give everything to the maid. Only sugar mattum she will keep, because sugar was very costly at that time. So sugar mattum வீட்டுக்கு ஃபேமிலிக்கு வச்சுட்டு வேறு எல்லாம் கிடைக்குது, let us not forgoன்னு அதெல்லாம் மெய்டுக்கு கொடுத்துடுவாங்க ஃப்ரீயாக. So this was the practice இங்கே ரொம்ப நாள். Now of course sugar also is reasonably priced, but in those days sugar was difficult to get and sugar was also very expensive. So we look at, what are the different aspects of Annabhagya. What are the difficulties in implementing the scheme? What is the population of India today? Anyone? நான் கொஸ்டின் கேட்குறச்செல்லாம் மோகன்ராஜ் தான் தலையை தூக்குறார், நீங்கள் எல்லாரும் தலையை குனிறீங்க. About 140 crore. So just imagine to give free rations to 140 crore people, right? Spread over the whole country. It's a Herculean task. And though we don't recognize it, we have been doing this for the past now more than 75 years. Okay? And we have, no, I'm not saying it, I'm going to talk to you about the challenges, so it is not without difficulties, but even to manage such a big task is Herculean, it is a great achievement in India. Nowadays, of course, you are seeing that you see the BJP's election posters, no? That 80 crore people are given free food grain. So now we are talking about it, but we have been doing it for a very long time. Next. So I told you the Food and Civil Supplies department looks at it. Now I have taken Karnataka. So in Karnataka there is a added department there called legal metrology. Legal metrology is weights and measures. So whether they are giving the right amount. You 5 kg rice actually 5 kg illaya. And the weighing machine correct check it's a regulatory department. Okay, it is not a benefit giving department. You remember we discussed, you were mentioning one of the regulatory department being the police, right? Revenue department is a regulatory department. Food and Civil Supplies is a development department. We give a benefit of food. But legal metrology is a regulatory department. In Tamil Nadu, legal metrology is not part of food department. I think it's part of labor, no? You did labor for them. It is part of another. It is not connected with Food and Civil Supplies. In Tamil Nadu, it is just Food and Civil Supplies. Karnataka, it add pannirukanga, right? At the apex is the minister. Then comes the secretary. What it can be, secretary, principal secretary, or additional chief secretary, depending on the seniority. Then comes the commissioner, food. This is a field department. Okay, so the commissioner is the field level officer, and below him there are additional directors, there are deputy commissioners, and there are administrative staff. So they are the people who are mainly doing the work of running the ration shops, distributing the food grains. District level poning and district collector. In Karnataka it is called deputy commissioner. Next slide. The same is called district collector here. So Food and Civil Supplies comes under the district collector. Okay. So here it is Kranti Kumar Pati. So it comes under him. There is a deputy director, and then there are several assistant directors and tahsildars who are implementing the scheme. So ration shop seriya vela seiyalana ninga district collector ku you have to make a complaint. Okay. Then he will send an inspector. There are food inspectors who will go and do the inspection. So broadly, this is the organizational structure. Secretariat level, there is the minister and the secretary, and below them there will be under secretaries, deputy secretaries. Field level, there is commissioner. Commissioner reports to it, he is a subordinate officer to the secretary. And then the district level, there is the district collector and his team of officers. Next report. The main thing is that there is free distribution of ration. Okay, that is the main, that is why the act itself was passed, that is why the program of PDS was initiated. So free ration distribution is the main purpose of the program. But different states have made a bigger package. So some, as I told you, give sugar, salt, oil, soap, whatever a family may require can be given under this program. Okay. Some are given free, some are given at a very subsidized, state takes part of the money. So if market value is, let us say 25 rupees, it may be given at 15 rupees. So that they are able to, poor people are able to afford that. There is one more aspect. I told you that PDS has been there from before the independence. So World War II irundirukku. But it was always seen as a benefit scheme. Are you familiar with the Constitution of India? Little bit? Samvidhanam, you are familiar with the Constitution? Anyone? I think we should do one constitution class, isn't it? Second years didn't have. Okay, anyway, constitution is the basic and fundamental document under which the entire legal system of India is functioning. And constitutionally, there are two important things. One is called fundamental rights. So, what are the rights of the people? For example, the right to expression, right to life and liberty, right to practice religion. So, these are all our fundamental rights. But there are also what is called directive principles, right? Directive principles means state says, government says that we will provide certain things to the people. But it was not a right. Right? Why it was not made a right? For example, government undertakes to see that everybody has employment. Government undertakes to see that everybody has education. But it was not a right when the first in 1950s the constitution was first launched. Because India was still a developing country. Even today it's a developing country. Ella right in pannitonna, then people can go to court saying, enak education kadikala, state has to provide or compensate me. The state cannot afford that kind of litigation. Therefore, it was a principle, a directive principle. In the disaila nama povom. Okay, in the direction that we will go. That is the principle. But in the last 10 years or so, or 15 years or so, we have gradually made many of these things into rights. So the first thing which was made into a right was information, under the Right to Information Act. So there's a whole legal jurisprudence called rights-based legislation. Now whatever was just an intention, okay, directive principle is an intention, uddesham. Now it becomes a commitment, it's a promise. So information, if you want any information about how a department works or a particular file, you can file a request under right to information. Then came right to education. Primary education, state is bound to give to everybody. If somebody does not get education, they can go and sue the government. Okay? This was another. National right to employment. Have you heard of Manrega? Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme. Minimum 100 days of employment has to be provided by government. At least 100 days of employment. If you do not get, you can go and file a case on the government. One more was the National Food Security Act. So PDS, which has been running for a long time, and where there was an act also called the PDS Act, it became a right under the constitution in 2013-14. Okay, in Karnataka adopted in 14, but nationally in 2013 itself, NFSA Act was passed, National Food Security Act. If you are not having sufficient food, you can demand it as a right. Right? So that is the importance of the adoption. It's a very, very big legal, it is not restricted only to food. But the whole rights-based legislation means the state is undertaking, one of you told first class, that what is public policy, government gives benefits to the poor. I think Amritashri mentioned, I don't remember, one of you said this. Who said, I have forgotten. So, this operationalization of that commitment of the state to provide benefits to the people is under rights-based legislation. So this is very important, especially for those who are intending to write civil services. Please read up on rights-based legislation. Okay, so under NFSA now, Karnataka provides what is called Paditara Khatri, which is ration guarantee for food. The state undertakes that everybody will be provided food according to their economic level. The poorest will be provided more or will be provided totally free of cost. The richer may have to pay a little bit. Okay? Then How do you do? I told you that there is a government mechanism, there is a secretary, there is a commissioner, then there is the district collector. But actually, who gives the food grains? Where do we go and purchase? There's a big network of ration shops. So the real delivery point is the ration shop. So there is a huge network of ration shops throughout the country. Right? In Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, every state has. And the aim is, and this ration shop, anybody, even if you want to open a ration shop, you can go apply for a ration shop license. And if there is no ration shop in that area, you have a chance of getting that license to run. இப்போல்லாம் நம்ம மெக்டொனால்டெல்லாம் ஃப்ரான்ச்சைசி பிரின்சிபல்னு சொல்கிறோம்ல, it works like that. But in those days we didn't hear of franchisee. But these are private individuals who are running the ration shops. Okay, very similar like post offices in UK. Private individuals running a government scheme. Right? They put the investment, government provides the grains, and then they distribute it to the people. This is done through the big network of ration shops. Next program. Okay, just a little bit of statistics. So I told you that poorest of the poor food is given almost free or almost free. Okay, so we divide the population into different categories. The priority households are Antyodaya, AAY nu solvom. Okay, they are the lowest of the below poverty line, romba lowest, very 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 poor. Okay, so that economic criteria will change. Ivlo income irukum, avlo income irukunu, it keeps on changing, but they will get everything free. Okay, then you have priority households, that is below poverty line. Okay, that income level also changes. Then you have one more category in Karnataka, which is called above poverty line. Inge vande you have what is called universal PDS. Anybody, Tamil Nadu, everybody gets rations free. Even if you have a reasonable income, suppose I can also go and get rations free if I am registered here as a beneficiary. Okay, now I am not registered. I suppose Dr. Praveen, you must be registered in Tamil Nadu as a voter, or you are registered in Tamil Nadu. So he can go and get it. His income level is above poverty line. Here it is, you have what is called universal PDS, Tamil Nadu. But does he go? Do you go and get rations? You do go and get rations. But let us say he is well off, very well off. He may not, or you may not be getting everything. All the product. So what is this? I want, when we are talking about rights-based legislation, this is important. So he is registered here as a voter and as a beneficiary under PDS. He also takes some. When I was a child, my grandmother used to take everything, but then give it to someone else. Waste she used to give it to someone else. So he also avails some of the benefits. So let us say soap he wants to buy. He may take it cheap at a cheaper cost from the ration shop. But rice he does not want. So he just refuses the rice. He does not pay for it. Right? He does not avail of that benefit. That is called self-selection. In rights-based legislation, if all 140 crore Indians want all the benefits, it becomes unaffordable. But the principle of self-selection operates. If I have 100 days employment is guaranteed, I can go to the district collector and demand, I don't have employment. But I won't do it because I have some employment. So I will not go and demand, even though it is my right. So Mohan Raj has the right to take all the products, but he still may not take all the products. There is a self-selection. We select ourselves whether to avail the benefit or not. That is why the state is able to afford. Then you have what is called APL category. Anga APL above poverty line. They are also eligible to get the grains, but they have to pay a certain amount. In Tamil Nadu, they have universal PDS, which means everybody gets. Now, these figures are all 2011 census, so it is a little old. Okay, now when the next census comes, these things will change. And you can see in every month, this is worked out. This is the number of beneficiaries. This is the total amount of rice we have to buy. This is the total amount of wheat we have to buy, because wheat, godume, jowar ellam kudupanga. Okay. In Karnataka, there are different areas eat different food. It is not like Tamil Nadu. Almost whole of Tamil Nadu, staple food is rice. But Karnataka is carved out of multiple areas. So South Karnataka, Mysore, Bangalore, they are rice eaters. Coastal Karnataka, they take Kerala red rice. North Karnataka, they take jolam. Jolam theriyumla. So jolathilendhu chapati pan. Not cholam. It is jowar. So not the golden this thing. So they make flour and take jowar. So, and there are the mid-north Karnataka, they take wheat. Right? So different food is eaten. So, and ragi also. South Karnataka, ragi is also a staple food. So different parts of Karnataka, different items are given under PDS. So that is worked out. Kerosene is given, right? Sugar is given, salt is given. Subsequently, I think now they have added dal also. You remember 2 years back, 4 or 5 years back, there was a huge tur dal crisis. I don't know whether your family told you, but like today, dal is selling at around almost 100 plus. At that time, it had reached 200 rupees or more. Okay, Appo government stepped in and said, we will distribute dal at subsidized prices. Otherwise, people were not able to afford dal. So different items can be added into this basket as and when need arises. Next book. Idu venum. Next. Okay, so this is the background which I gave you about the scheme. Now let us look at what are the problems. Okay, there is no government scheme where there are no problems. Okay, so one is that the number of below poverty line card holders is very high. So it becomes a very expensive program for the state to bear. Sila samaya now that just because in Karnataka there is a scheme that those who are having a BPL card, below poverty line card, in India it's called green card, yellow card, something like that is there. They get subsidized hospital treatment also. So many people go and get cards not for the ration, but for the hospital treatment useful. So for that reason it becomes very difficult to weed out ineligible people. So almost I remember when I first joined service as a trainee officer, that time I have eliminated some 200 people who are having fake cards. Fake na card fake illa. Avanga status fake. They are actually well-off people but who have taken below poverty line cards. And I was doing the same thing 30 years later when I became secretary food also. So this is all ongoing exercise that people will come, give wrong information. The inspector will not do the verification properly. They will issue the card. Then you have to eliminate the card. Okay, just to see that ineligible people do not get, and the financial burden is reduced. Secondly, I said we are distributing grains, but where does this come from? Again, the grains were there. For getting the grains, we operate what is called the MSP program, minimum support price. If there is a lot of Delhi farmers agitate pannirukanga illaya, so state goes and buys from the farmer at a certain price. In the price we purchase the food grains, then we send it to FCI. FCI processes it and then again we repurchase from FCI at a subsidized rate and give it to the people. Sometimes our MSP production, MSP purchase, if we are buying 100 tons of rice and we are distributing 100 tons of rice, it is fine. Accounts are balanced. But we may be purchasing 100 tons of rice under MSP, but we may have to distribute 200 tons of rice. Then the accounts are imbalanced and the state is not able to handle the economic burden. So this is also, if we are able to get all the rice through MSP, all the food grains through MSP, it will be easier. But this is not always possible. So that is also one of the challenges. Thirdly, we are giving things like kerosene. Kerosene எதுக்கு கொடுக்குறாங்க for cooking purpose. உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? We used to have this old kerosene stove. How many of you still use? I don't know. Very few families use. Most of us have migrated to gas stove. So அதுக்கு kerosene கொடுக்கிறது. Okay, that was why kerosene was distributed originally under this scheme. But nowadays, kerosene is used for boats, running boats. Okay, diesel and kerosene are important for boats. Therefore, fishermen go and take the allotment. So that is also ineligible, not in the sense that they are taking a fake card, but a whole category of people who are not part of the scheme at all. It is a food and civil supply scheme, but it is being taken for some other purpose by some other group of people. So this is always an issue. Then there is a simple thing. Did I tell you once about transaction costs? If to go and get food from the ration shop, how many of you have done this? யாராவது போயிருக்கீங்களா ரேஷன் ஷாப்புக்கு? குட். எப்படி இருக்கு? It's a pleasant experience. ஜாலியாக walk in the park. Tell me, is one of you who has gone? Huh? Nice or not nice? Come, get up, stand. Otherwise you'll fall asleep. Whoever has gone, Gauri Shankar, always. Tell me.
Hi ma'am, Gauri Shankar.
Yeah, I know.
Second BBA. Ma'am, ration shop போனா maximum fight தான் ma'am.
Fight தான்.
Maximum fight.
ஏன்?
மேம் க்யூவில் நிற்கும் போது நான் முன்னாடி வந்தேன், பின்னாடி வந்தேன். ஏன்னா முன்னாடி இருக்கவங்களுக்கு கிடைச்சிரும், பின்னாடி கிடைக்காது மேம். அதனால் ஃபைட் பண்ணுவாங்க. கெரோசின் மேக்ஸிமம் நிறைய பேர்த்துக்கு கிடைக்காது மேம். லோடு வரும், தீர்ந்துருச்சுன்னு சொல்லி அனுப்பி விட்ருவாங்க. அப்புறம் சுகர் வந்து எல்லோரும் மேக்ஸிமம் வாங்கிடுவாங்க மேம். அப்புறம் பாம் ஆயில் வாங்கிட்டு அங்கேயே இன்னும் சேல்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க மேம். 50 ரூபாய்க்கு அங்கேயே கொடுத்துட்டு போயிடுவாங்க மேம். அப்புறம் வீட்டு வந்து அதிகமாக யாரும் வாங்க மாட்டாங்க மேம். அப்புறம் அரிசியிலே 2 இருக்குது மேம். பச்சை அரிசி, புழுங்கல் அரிசி, 2 அரிசி போடுவாங்க மேம். பச்சை அரிசி வந்து வீட்டில் இந்த தோசை சுடுறதுக்காண்டி வாங்கிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க மேம். புழுங்கல் அரிசினா அங்கேயே ஹிந்திக்காரங்க வந்தாங்கன்னா 5 ரூபாய்க்கு விற்றுட்டு வந்துடுவாங்க.
ஓகே. ஸோ one thing is that just going to ration shop, please, for no other reason, just to understand, please go to the ration shop once. It is not a happy experience to go to the ration shop. Everything which Gauri Shankar says is true. சண்டை நடக்கும், அங்கேயே வாங்கிட்டு அங்கேயே விற்றுடுவாங்க. ineligible people will get பத்தாது. ஸோ சில பேருக்கு கிடைக்கும், சில பேருக்கு கிடைக்காது. So it becomes very difficult for people to go and avail. Okay, 10 நாளுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் வரும். First of all, there will be delay, time lag. Okay, you will not get it on the 1st of the month. You will get it after the 10th of the month. So we announced, for example, Karnataka, we said don't come from 1st to 10th. Come on 10th, we will give. Assured this thing, so that people's inconvenience is reduced. Suppose ஒரு ஒர்க்கர் இருக்கார், அவருக்கு ரேஷன் வாங்கினோன்னா அவருக்கு half a day wage போயிடும். Because he is not working at that time, he is going and standing in the queue. Right? இந்த பாம் ஆயில் சொல்கிறாரு அவர் என்னன்னா, it is given in the name of the person, beneficiary. பட் ஹோட்டல்ஸில் பாம் ஆயில் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ அவங்க எல்லாருக்கிட்டேருந்தும் பக்கத்துலேயே ஜஸ்ட் அவுட் சைட் த ரேஷன் ஷாப் பல்கில் வாங்கிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க. We have done inspections and stopped such practices, but it doesn't stop forever. நீங்கள் போவீங்க, இன்ஸ்பெக்டர் அனுப்புவீங்க, அவர் 2 நாள் சத்தம் போடுவார், அதெல்லாம் கழிச்சிட்டு போவார். After again 1 or 2 months, again that practice will start. Again you have to send the inspector. So these are the, then when I told you there are 140 crore people, there are some who are below poverty line, some who are not, right? எல்லாரையும் டேட்டாபேஸில் சேர்க்கறதே it is a very big challenge. Somebody will be left out. Some eligible person will be left out, right? That is called exclusion error. I am eligible, I am below poverty line, but my name is not there. Exclusion error. Bala is not eligible, but he has managed to get his name in the below poverty line. But he is earning 3 lakhs per month, but his name is there. Inclusion error. Okay, this because we are dealing with a huge database. Other correct பண்றதுக்கு we have tried many things. The latest being we have photograph. We take photograph of beneficiaries, issue the card has a photograph. The ration shop owner is supposed to check. But நீங்களே பார்த்துருக்கீங்க, கைதியின் டைரி ஃபோட்டோ மாதிரி இருக்கும் அந்த ஃபோட்டோ எல்லாம். It's very difficult to check. But that is one way in which we have tried to use. Okay, try to reduce the transaction cost. What is transaction cost? Let me explain before I go further. The simplest thing is paying your electricity bill, right? Okay, your electricity bill, if you have to go and stand in the queue for half a day and pay the electricity bill வெயில்ல in the summerல, then the transaction cost is very high. So what you will do, you will avoid paying, right? If the same electricity bill you can pay through UPI from your mobile, you don't want to cheat, then transaction cost is very low, therefore you will pay. So the smartness of government is to reduce the transaction costs. Transaction is that engagement which happens between buyer and seller, right? There is a connection which happens between the buyer and the seller in anything. Private sector liyum avudhu, public sector liyum avudhu. Now they say in big brands will say we want to enhance the shopping experience. You go into a mall, which is that mall here, Brookfields, something, the Lulu Mall. You enter itself, it will be very cool, and you'll have lots of shops which have nice, they give you nice cool drinks. There is some seating. It is nice. The clothes are nice to watch. You can have a good experience with friends. Then you can go and see a movie and then go home. Then experience is very good. Transaction costs are very low. Everything is easy to buy. Government in everything transaction costs are very high. To pay the electricity bill, you have to stand in the queue. To get the rations, you have to stand in the queue. If you reduce those transaction costs, then it becomes easier. And people will do more compliance, better compliance. So one way in which we are trying to reduce the transaction costs is through IT initiatives. Okay, next. Let's go. So what did we do? Gauri Shankar sonna ella problems, so it is there. Okay, it was there, it is still there. But government is also making efforts to reduce the difficulties. So one thing is, I told you that if ration is going to come on 10th, we will tell people to come on 10th. It is a simple announcement. You put it in the newspaper, or you send a message out, or the ration shop puts a board, so that they don't come and stand unnecessarily. Okay, so this is one thing which is done. Almost all the information relating to the department is available on the website. This is true, I know, of Karnataka. To an extent, it is true of Tamil Nadu also. Whether you have a card, whether there is a card in your name, whether how many members are there in that card, unga family members ellaru irukangala, unga photograph, unga family details, everything will be available if you log in and get into the website. So many things, application for getting the ration card, you can do it online. So in a way we are using technology to make it easier for people, right? We cannot avoid all the problems, but we can avoid some problems, okay? One more thing which we tried was that, next. Go to the next. Yeah. This was one major innovation which we tried. Karnataka, I don't know whether it is there here, you must tell me. We began to send SMS messages. Appo WhatsApp irukula. You remember this? When we tried this, it was around 2014, 15, 16, in those years. So for all the information we used to send to the ration card holders through SMS. So if the ration has reached, we'll send an SMS. Ration has reached the ration shop. You can go. If you have a complaint, you can call. So there was a call number. They can call and register the complaint. Next. Anything which you need, you applied for a ration card, you want to track your application, you can do it through SMS. Okay? Why we did SMS? One thing was, WhatsApp was not there in those days, but also SMS is much cheaper. You were able to send bulk messages at a very cheap cost using BSNL. What is your allotment in the ration shop? This is my ration shop. இப்போ அவர் சொன்னார், நாங்கள் போனோடனே 10 பேர் கொடுப்பாங்க, அப்புறம் கெரசின் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்க. Okay. So let us say that the fellow is selling kerosene. He has received 100 liters. He distributes 50 liters and then he says it's over. You should know that it is actually 100 liters. How will you know? We will send an SMS saying in the ration shop order, allotment is X, whatever is the amount, rice or wheat or kerosene, whatever. So the allotment of your particular ration shop is available on the website, and it is also available to you on SMS. Okay. Then to know the office, which is the office where you have to complain, which is the office, which is the controlling office of the ration shop, because ration shops are distributed all over. Chinna gramathiliyum irukum. So it may come under a particular tahsildar or a particular deputy director's office. To know those details, you can get it over SMS or you can get it from the website. Go to the next one. Next. So let us see this example. Okay. So this is an SMS which gives the current status of the ration card. You applied for a ration card, you are tracking the ration card, you send an SMS and it will give you this. Ration card number so and so belongs to so and so with the mobile number, and there are 5 eligible members. It is the system there, any of you have seen? Okay, so SMS is one way in which very easily we can give this information. You have applied, you want to know the status, it gives you the status. Next. Next. No, just keep on. Now you want to know unga ration. Let us say Ajay, his family has 5 members. So our family, every month there will be, let us say, 15 kg of rice, 5 kg of wheat, 3 liters of kerosene is the allotment, right? That will go to you in the form of an SMS. It will not go to him, it will go to the name in whose name the ration card is taken. If it's taken in the name of his father, mother, or if it is in his name, he will get. So you see that this ration allotment for card number so and so for the month of June is rice 20 kgs, wheat 5 kgs, sugar 5 kgs, palm oil 1 liter, salt 1 liter. The problem which you told, you can show, see, I have got the SMS already, right? So underselling that actually your allotment is 10 kg, but they are giving you only 5 or they are giving you 0. That is avoided by this. Okay, so we tried this. Then go to the next. This is the allotment for the shop. Already I told you. 10 லேன்னு சொன்னாங்கன்னா உங்கள் ஷாப்புக்கு இவ்வளோ வந்திருக்கு, நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ தானே டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க, மிக்க இருக்கணும் உங்ககிட்ட அப்படின்னு யூ கேன் ஆஸ்க். நெக்ஸ்ட்டுக்கு போங்க. This is the name of the officer where you can complain. Next report. This is the major innovation which we did. One by one we went on. Government is, governance and leadership is iteration. You try something, then it works, then you make an improvement on it. So I told you that first we started sending out SMSs saying, "Unga allotment ivlana," right? So you know what is your right, how much you are supposed to get. There's another problem. I told APL benefit above poverty line, they have to pay. So enna பண்ணுவாங்க, overcharge பண்ணுவாங்க. So if you are supposed to pay, let us say 10 rupees per kg, they'll ask you to pay 12 rupees per kg. To avoid that, we started introducing this, that we will give not only the allotment but also the rate. So your allotment is 10 kg of wheat from ration shop number so and so at the rate of 25 rupees per kg. So, and you have to pay this much. So if the ration shop charges you more, you can show that, because this is all centralized. We send it from the office, right? Food Commission office land, the bulk SMSs to thousands of people at a time, right? So they get the full details. We make a database. The details of the database go to all the beneficiaries. So this, when we tried, that we started giving them both the allotment and the rate, that started working very well. Until then there were always some problems, that they will either under provide or overcharge. So those problems we were able to avoid using this. Next. Next. Yes. Let me go back. Yeah. This is also one more thing which we did when Aadhaar came. You remember at this time Aadhaar was also coming. We started connecting the Aadhaar cards with the ration cards. So that is called Aadhaar CD. First, adukku munnadi voter ID card irundhathu. You remember Epic cards? So first we connected the Epic card and the ration card. Meanwhile, government started the Aadhaar scheme. So most of us began to get Aadhaar numbers. So we began to seed. After that, it became very easy to track multiple cards, bogus cards, people having 3-4 cards. All that we were able to eliminate using Aadhaar seeding. Next, ponga. Anga poi vaangringa, your allotment, you know, it is 10 kg, right? Your rate also, you know, it is 15 rupees a kg. But when he actually gives you, he weighs and he gives you only 7 kg or 9.5 kg. For that we introduced what is called POS machine, point of sale machine. It will be there here also. If you go and see, I am sure, because these, I remember there was the officer also, we all used to discuss together. In fact, your present chief secretary was the food secretary Tamil Nadu when I was food secretary there. So we used to discuss these things in common. When we met in Delhi, we used to exchange notes, and so I'm sure you also have in Tamil Nadu. So point of sale machine is a biometric based machine. So you go, you put your biometric, so he can't go in your place. Somebody else going, bogus voting madri, bogus availing of the benefit is not possible. You put the biometric, it tells you you are eligible for 10 kg, and the person keeps 10 kg, it weighs it, and you get a small slip from this. It will tell you the weight, your number, everything, and then you can take the ration and go. So the last mile, which is the actual weighing, Many things we have done by technology. So what did I tell you in the beginning of the class? Even if you are in the government, you have to know about private sector things like IT and all that. Even if you are in the IT sector, you can find opportunities to work with government. So this is one example where all the reforms were technology based. In Karnataka we call it e-governance, electronic governance. I don't know what it is called here, e-governance. All this is e-governance. Most of it was done jointly by government officers and private sector. We don't have that kind of IT capacity, but we have the knowledge what should be done. And this is up to the last mile. This is, I think, a new POS machine, so they put mala ellam pooda potrukanga machine. So this is also one more. And this POS machine was there in every ration shop, even in forest areas. We had installed these POS machines. So it was easy for people to check then and there. Even if they miss the SMS, they don't know their ration, they do at least there when they go to actually collect, they are able to get the correct allotment at the correct weight, the correct quantity. Next. In some places, this is a full machine. In some places we had handheld POS. I don't know whether we have a photo here. Without this machine and all, Kayali you can scan and get the weight. So that nowadays you get it for luggage, no? You can just put a small belt and gives you the weight of the luggage. So you don't even need this big machine. But point of sale machines we have introduced. Next. Yeah. So that is about it. Yeah. Let me just go. Next. Next. This is all very detailed. So this you can see about 4,000 machines we had installed. POS machines all over the state. Multiple companies have supplied to us. Next. Even in this we faced a lot of problems. Okay, it was not easy to convince the fair price shop owner. Idella seyanonna one thing, some investment is required. At least electrical point adella they have to do. Secondly, if they are cheating, it becomes more difficult to cheat. Okay, so we faced a lot of resistance. This meant that is where leadership comes in. You have to call, you have to hold meetings. First you have to tell your officers, then your officers in turn go down. You conduct inspections. Then you go on following up with district collectors. Actually they have to implement. So frequently, wherever there was a problem, we used to call district collectors, go, there is a problem there, go and rectify it. We are getting complaints about this ration shop, you go and see. So all these things are where the leadership comes in. One thing is seeing what is the problem, which is easy. User Gauri Shankar is able to tell all the problems, which is not easy for the officer because he is not experiencing, you are experiencing. But he listens, finds out the problems, finds a solution to the problem. The solution can be technical or administrative, and then he goes and implements it. And for implementing, he has to keep on following up. Okay, both with the shop owners, with the local officers, and with users also. Okay, so all this has to happen in tandem. It is not happening, idu onnu mudichittu appuram adu seiyalam, adu mudichittu appadi seiyalam, you cannot do. You have to do multiple things at the same time. Okay. Leadership is in one way trying to balance these different interests. Suppose you antagonize the fair price shop owners, ration shop owners so much, na shop moodidrantangana everybody suffers. So you have to persuade in such a way that they see their interest also. Okay. So those, all that is where your leadership comes in. Finding the solution and then making it happen. Yeah, next. Yeah, this is okay. Next. So with this I will close today's presentation. And any other questions, issues? happy to answer. So, உங்கள் எக்ஸாம் முடிஞ்சோடனே on your holidays, all of you please visit a ration shop. Don't wait for Professor Vivekananda to take you. You go and visit your local ration shop or any ration shop. Visit in the first week of the month, towards 7th or 8th of the month, when ration will actually come. இப்போ போகாதீங்க, எலெக்ஷன் முடிஞ்சவொடனே போங்க, போலிங் ஆனவொன்னு. Go and see. You will get the feel of how the shop works. Yes? Any problems? Any ideas? Gauri Shankar, how you would have tackled this? உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் தெரியும், நீங்கள் என்ன செஞ்சிருப்பீங்க?
One more. How to tackle?
How to tackle? I told you some ways in which we tackled. Okay, these problems were known because people come and tell you. Many people come and tell. Food department is people. Lots of visitors will come. They will come and give you all the problems. Then you see what are the problems and you address. But tell me some ideas how, because you were actually experienced.
Ma'am, first போயிடணும் ma'am. Go to first. ஃபஸ்ட்டு போயிடணும் மேம் ரேஷன் ஷாப்புக்கு க்யூவில் மார்னிங்.
தட் இஸ் த கஸ்டமர்ஸ் வே ஆஃப் ஹேண்ட்லிங், ரைட்? ஓகே,
ஃபஸ்ட்டு மேம்
காலையில் போயிடுவீங்க. ஓகே.
அப்புறம் டேட்டில் எழுதியிருப்பாங்க மேம், போர்டு வச்சு பிளாக் போர்டு இருக்கும்.
எஸ்.
டேட் அண்ட் டைம் எழுதியிருப்பாங்க மேம்.
எஸ் எஸ்.
அப்புறம் பொங்கல் டைம்னா கொஞ்சம் இயர்லியாக வந்துடுவாங்க மேம். அந்த டைமில் கொஞ்சம் க்ரௌட் அதிகமாக இருக்கனால இது க்யூக்காண்டி ஷீட் போட்டுருவாங்க மேம். அது மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும் மேம்.
That is also one thing which I missed. They are supposed to display on the boards both the total allotment, name of ration card holder. For a shop there will be about 200, 300 up to 500 card holders. So avanga perella irukonu with the numbers, it has to be displayed. What is the allotment has to be displayed. சில பேர் செய்வாங்க, சில பேர் செய்ய மாட்டாங்க, பட் தேர் சப்போஸ் டு டூ.
இப்போ டோக்கன்ஸ் கொடுப்பாங்க மேம்.
டோக்கன்ஸ் கொடுப்பாங்க.
கொஞ்சம் 100 இப்போ டோக்கன் நம்பர் இந்த 100 இருந்ததுன்னா வீட்டுக்கு போய்ட்டு கொஞ்சம் லேட்டாக வந்து
ஓகே
டோக்கன் கொடுத்தாங்க கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியாக இருக்கும்.
ஸோ தட் இஸ் அ குட் சிஸ்டம்.
எஸ் மேம்.
இது ரொம்ப நாளாக நடந்திருக்கா இல்லை ரீசெண்ட்லி தே ஆர் கிவிங்?
ரீசெண்டாக மேம்.
ரீசெண்டாக டோக்கன்ஸ் கொடுப்பாங்க. ஓகே,
தேங்க்யூ.
யா ஆஃப்டர் கொரோனா, யா. Corona is an interesting thing. Sit down, Gauri.
Thank you.
I told you all these things which we did, right? Then this is all, most of this was 2015-16. Around that time, many reforms were done. We had a very good secretary in the government of India also. Avanga romba support pannanga. So those of us who were interested, we could do a lot of reforms. Subsequently, 19 Corona came. So 2020 was the worst year. At that time, I was no longer in food department. I don't know whether unga class kitta I didn't speak about migrant crisis. But in Corona, also I did food grain distribution. Okay, as part of as labor department secretary. Workers we gave grains. But there, I followed a very different approach. இப்போ இங்கே வந்து ஐ டோல்ட் யூ எரர்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்க்ளூஷன், இன்எலிஜிபிள் பீப்புள் வாங்கிடுவாங்க, போகஸ் கார்ட்ஸ் எலிமினேட் பண்ணோம், டியூப்ளிகேட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எலிமினேட் பண்ணோம். டியூரிங் கோவிட் அட்லீஸ்ட் மை அப்ரோச் ஆஸ் லேபர் செக்ரட்டரி வாஸ், நாங்கள் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி மூட்டையாக we did not give. First of all, that itself we changed. We gave packed food grains, right? And nothing, I don't know how it was here. In first year of COVID, that is 2020, government tried to give cooked food. Okay, actual cooked pani, puri, chole or potato, something they were giving. So just like Coimbatore, Karnataka also, lot of labor comes from North India or from North Karnataka. Okay, so avங்களுக்கு அரிசி கொடுத்தா they don't like to eat. They like chapati and some vegetable. And chapati vegetable senju kudungana inga irukka South Karnataka cooks cannot do it, but the bulk of the worker population is in Bangalore, Mysore area. That is the industrial area. So we did a different in 2021, which is the second wave of COVID. That time only I joined the department. We said we will not give cooked food. Cooked food innor problem enna inne cook panningana naalik spoil aayidum. So remember it was summer time and all that. So we said we will not give cooked food, but we gave dry rations. It's called dry ration, just like we give in PDS, rice, but much bigger basket. We gave rice, we gave sugar, we gave masala, we gave oil, we gave soap, we gave sanitizer, we gave pads, everything which a family may need, neatly packed into boxes. I don't have that here, but it may be sometime in the next year I'll show you. We gave them very neatly packed in bags, no photographs, only labor department label, that this is from the labor department. No politics, even minister, nobody asked for their photograph to be put. Okay, it was without anybody's identification with a particular political leader or particular officer, neatly packed. And we made a list of, not only BPL, APL எல்லாம் பார்க்கல, much more liberal, all worker population we gave. Okay, because everybody was suffering in COVID, right? So it is not only poor suffered, everyone suffered. So any workers, labor department deals with workers. He is our labor expert. Labor department is clientele population is workers. So all workers we gave same type of boxes, no differentiation. We distributed it all over, right? When we did that, some MLA or minister will call and say that நீங்கள் வந்து 500 boxes கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க, எங்கள் கான்ஸ்டியூன்சியில் 600 people இருக்காங்க, ஒரு 100 extra boxes கொடுங்க. We never said no. We just gave. We didn't ask questions. So I was telling you, inclusion error, exclusion error. That emergency time, we just removed all those considerations. People are suffering, we will not ask too many questions, we will see that the benefit reaches. That is more important in a crisis. So what up to now I was explained in normal time, how will you do the reforms? Some mistakes may happen, there will be errors, that errors you correct by systematic changes. But in crisis you manage it differently. அப்போ வந்து நான் database பண்ணுறேன், I will avoid errors, I will not include ineligible people, I will remove bogus beneficiaries, nothing. If they are a worker registered in the labor department, they got a kit. If there are two workers from the same family, they got 2 kits. All of them neatly packed, given without any questions asked, and we called everybody. We said, yaar venal vaanga, we don't want credit, work we will do. MLAs venna vaanga, ministers venna vaanga. The Karnataka State Legal Aid Authority nu onnu irukku, avangalo naanga vandu paakurom enna seireenga vaanga. Anybody in a public place, a gram panchayat office, or if it is very big industry, in the industry premises, we just gave distribution. When they asked for extra, we just gave. We never asked any questions. We adopted a totally different approach. Adhe time lo food department became more stringent. In the reforms had been done by me and my predecessors, okay, what all I described. But at the time of COVID, இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப டைட்டன் பண்ணிட்டாங்க food departmentல. So our workers who were used to get PDS, instead of going to ration shops, they came to us and took, because it was much easier for them to get it from the labor department. Without any kind of, questions or this thing, we just gave. Fortunately, we had built up a corpus of funds. So we had sufficient money. Otherwise, funds is a very big problem in these things. And across the board, everybody appreciated. Both ruling party MLAs, opposition MLAs, everybody praised, because here we were not asking questions. So long as it reaches a beneficiary and it is accounted for, it is fine. So we adopted a different. So why I am telling you this was in the same matter of food. In normal times, you have to do reforms. When things are going, haywire because of some other extraneous reasons like pandemic, appo neenga vanda screw tighten pandrenna, everything will collapse. At that time, you have to be more liberal. So you have to change your leadership style according to situation. Okay. So this is something very important. You cannot play with a cat and play with a tiger in the same way. Right? You may be able to play with both, but it requires a different approach. Okay. People play with tigers also, but it requires a different approach. So this is something which you remember. Whereas food department became so tight that people stopped going to ration shops at the time when they desperately needed food. Those who came under, worker category, they could get from us. But many people suffered without, being able to get the rations. Because they made it very, very, bogus, they got scared. But actually self-selection will operate. You will not, people who don't want will not go to take it. Or even if a small percentage do that, it's worth the sacrifice. You can't do it in normal times, but in emergencies you have to adopt a different approach. So this is something when one of you mentioned COVID, I remembered. Any other questions, comments, difficulties? அவங்க பேசுறதை விட இப்படி கத்தி பேசினா நாமளும் கேட்போம்ல. First she will run it with Amritashri, then she will ask them.
Ma'am, I think if the government made to below poverty line and the ones in middle class only can get the ration means it will be more liberal, because above poverty line people can get their supplies from any other market and in the same price. Even they charge for high prices for above poverty line rates. So that there will be no unavailability for the people in below
scarcity
poverty
will be reduced. You are right, which is exactly what my minister also said. Tamil Nadu had universal PDS, at least at that time. I don't know whether they are having now. Universal PDS means anybody can go and avail. I wanted to introduce in Karnataka. My argument was that self-selection will operate, because people who don't need will not go. If I don't need, so I won't go to the ration shop, was my argument. And I wanted to introduce universal PDS, but my minister said exactly this. He said he got worried. At that time, beneficiaries would have reached some 100, I don't know how many crore, 10-15 crore it would have reached at that time. So he got worried that there will be too many beneficiaries, we will not be able to control. And what happens if everybody comes and avails? Then it becomes very expensive. In fact, he didn't agree. But if I in fact wanted to introduce, because I feel that benefits should not be restricted to one. What happens is, if you restrict a benefit to only the poorest of the poor, then others stop bothering about how it is delivered. The classic example is unreserved compartment in a railway, in a train. Unreserved compartment, bathrooms will be dirty, it will not be maintained, nobody will clean, nobody will check. Okay, first class compartment or a flight, then things are kept clean, because the category of users will demand better service. Unreserved compartment இருக்கிறவங்க அவங்களால கேட்கவும் முடியாது, அவங்க கேட்டாலும் government will not respond. If you make universal PDS, so people like Vivekananda or Mohan Raj or myself will also, or you will go, and we will demand better service, and some of the problems which Gauri Shankar was mentioning will get reduced automatically if the users are asking. Poorest of the poor will not ask. They don't have the time to sit and argue. Solra madri அங்கே போயினா சண்டை தான் போடணுன்னா they'll avoid that because they are wasting their time. And the shopkeeper or the service provider also will not give them proper attention. So there is a concept called voice in public policy. Some category of customers have voice, so you can demand. The poorer the category or the weaker the category, they will not have voice. So my argument was, let us make universal PDS. So நீங்கள் சொல்கிற மாதிரி middle class also goes there. They will demand better services, and that better services will help everybody. But the negative side of that argument was what you said, that one thing is middle class can afford to buy from the market, and the burden on the state government may become very high, and there is of course possibility of misuse. Some misuse will be there. So we did not, till today we don't have universal PDS in Karnataka. Inge at that time they had, but now I don't know, maybe here also they've changed, because somebody was telling me now there are different categories of cards, green card, yellow card, some different cards are there, which means you are having different categories. So these are all, in development policy there can be different points of view. You have to see what suits best. If there's a large population of poor, then it makes sense to have universal PDS. Okay. If it is segregated population, then maybe it is better to have targeted segments. Healthcare in UK, it is given through the National Health Service. Sit down. Healthcare in UK is provided by National Health Service. It is available to everybody, rich or poor. Everybody has to go. If you are poor or lower middle class, you will go to government hospital. Okay. If you can afford, you will go to private hospital, KMCH. Otherwise, you have even better, want better facilities, 5-star facilities, then you will go to Bangalore, go to Apollo in here. Chittoor is not nearby, no? Chittoor is little far. You go to Bangalore and you go to Apollo or Narayana Hridayalaya. So there are different customer segments according to their affordability, right? But in UK it is not like that. Everybody gets the same. But the problem with that is something like what Shivaranjani said. Queues become very long. Everybody has to wait for a very, very long time. For small ailments it's okay. If you are having fever, you need a medicine, then NHS works, National Health Service works very well. Right? If you are having a swell. If you have to get chemotherapy, you have to wait for 5 years. The patient may die. And you are, because you are only going in queue system, sometimes a more serious patient has to wait. Somebody who has time, because cancer is a killing disease. The person with a little more time may go faster because it is only by queue system. So remember that all these public policy is something which is very situational. You have to take the context, they adapt the policy to its context. So, but NHS is a pride of UK. They are very proud about their service, health service. Anything else? Boys? Voice, no voice for boys. Yeah.
மேம் எனக்கு ரொம்ப நாளாகவே ஒரு டவுட் இருக்குது. ஐ எம் எஸ் பலா ஃப்ரம் செகண்ட் பிபிஏ. என்ன டவுட் அப்படின்னா, இப்போ ஒவ்வொருட அதை எப்படி சொன்னால் ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட்டுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி ப்ரைஸ்க்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி குவாலிட்டி கிடைக்கும். அதே மாதிரி ரேஷன் ஷாப்பில் கம்மியான ப்ரைஸில் தராங்க, அதே இது வெளி ஷாப்பில் அதிக ப்ரைஸுக்கு தராங்க. எப்படின்னா, இப்போ ஒரு பாமாயிலோட ரேட் அதர் ஷாப்பில் 100 ரூபாய்க்கு மேலே போகுது, இது வெறும் 36 ரூபாய்க்கு தான் தராங்க. ஸோ அந்த குவாலிட்டி ஈக்குவலாக இருக்குமா? அப்படி இருந்தால் ஏன் ப்ரைவேட் ஷாப் வச்சுருக்காங்க? எல்லாருக்குமே இந்த மாதிரி கம்மியான ரேட்டில் கொடுக்கலாமே.
ஓகே, it is not that private shopல ஜாஸ்தியாக கொடுக்குறாங்கன்னு. There is something, you are going into economic theory, so I have to really explain to you. There is something called market economics, right? Nobody decides that it should be sold at a particular price. The market decides. So you go to the shop, it is at 36 rupees or something which you said. So, 36 rupees, it is too high in vandiduvinga. So, demand comes down, right? When demand comes down, what does the shopkeeper do? உங்களை மாதிரி 4 பேர் போயிட்டு வேணான்னு சொல்லிட்டு வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா he will reduce the price to 33, right? So that is what operates in private shops. Okay, according to demand they will adjust the price. The shopkeeper may adjust or the manufacturer may adjust, right? Government why they are able to give at a lower price? Suppose இது 30 ரூபாய்னா அதை அவங்க 20 ரூபாய் கொடுக்குறாங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. Because government is paying that margin. So that is what is called subsidizing. That is the subsidy which government pays. So for example, if the cost of buying the rice, MSP la purchase பண்றோம்னு சொன்னால, we buy the rice, we process the rice, we store the rice, we transport the rice. Together all this works out to, let us say, 35 rupees per kg of rice or oil or whatever it is. Part of that money, the government will decide how much according to the budget recommendations. Part of it is subsidized by the government. So government will pay. So if it is 35 rupees, government says I will pay 25 rupees, you are able to buy it at the ration shop for 10 rupees. So that money doesn't go away. Somebody is paying for it. Who is paying for it? We are only paying for it in the form of taxes. You are not paying in the shop, but you are paying it indirectly through taxes, right? That is why there is a difference. Price will remain more or less the same. It will not vary widely between private or public or ration shop. Or the actual cost which goes into it is the same. But who pays for it? Here the customer pays for it in a normal shop. In a ration shop, government pays part of it. That is called subsidy. That's how it is.
Thank you, ma'am. And second question. இந்தியாவில் 140 கோடிக்கு மேலே இருக்கிறாங்கன்னு நீங்கள் சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ அதே மாதிரி எல்லாருக்குமே அந்த ஃபுட்டுங்கிறது கிடைக்கிறது இல்லைன்னு நீங்கள் சொல்லிட்டீங்க. பட் இது ஏன் கிடைக்க மாட்டேங்குதுங்கிறது என்னோட ஒரு கேள்வி. தனியாக அதுக்கான NGO அந்த மாதிரி நிறையா பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஆனாலுமே இன்னும் சில இடத்துல ஒன்றுமே இல்லாமல் ஒரு சாப்பாட்டுக்கே வெளியில்லாதவங்களாம் இருக்காங்க. அவங்களுக்கும் அந்த ஈக்குவல் கொண்டு வர முடியுமா அப்படிங்கிறதுங்க.
That is the effort. Okay. Or now we can safely say that most of India are covered by our public distribution network. நீங்கள் போனீங்கன்னா இப்போ நீலகிரிஸில் suppose you go to the remote forest where only tribals are there, அங்கே கூட ஒரு ration shop இருக்கும். I myself have seen. There are ration shops even in tribal areas where hardly there will be 20-30 people will be there, but one ration shop will be there. The biggest network, more than schools, more than hospitals, is ration shops. However, there is always possibility that somebody is not covered. ஒரு 15 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரிசால there were places where starvation deaths were there. People were not getting enough food, they died. But the effort is that we try to expand this network to the maximum so that within 1 or 2 kilometers there should be a shop which is providing ration. That is public shop, I am saying, ration shop, fair price shop னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த ஷாப் இருக்கிறதுக்கு only by expansion of this network you can do. Because PDS is the best system. PDS and employment guarantee are the two best systems for providing food to the poor. PDS gives food directly, employment guarantee gives employment, through that you are able to buy. The way to do it is, young people like you, open a ration shop. It is a business. Open a ration shop, apply for a ration shop, say that I will go and open it. ஏதோ நீங்களே பாருங்கள், எங்கே உங்கள் பக்கத்தில் வேறு ரேஷன் ஷாப் இஸ் ரிக்வயர்ட் அண்ட் தென் யூ கோ அண்ட் ஓப்பன். யா अच्छा, okay. But then form a society, register and then open.
That is my question, because you have mentioned FPP workers.
Yeah, we have it's like a franchisee system. It's like a franchise. Anybody can apply and they have to fulfill certain eligibility conditions. Government-owned ration shops are also there, but there will be very few. This is something like a franchisee. Many private owners will be there. But if individual cannot do it in Tamil Nadu, but societies can, then come together, form a society, apply and open shops. That is a very simple process, registering as a society. So it's not impossible to do. Because unless people come forward and set up, even in Karnataka, first it was not there. Then we started allowing slowly. Because government we cannot, coverage won't be there. What he says will happen. Yeah, Bala. Anything else?
மேம் இது வந்து என்னோடய பர்சனல். நான் வந்து யூபிஎஸ்சி அட்டன் பண்ணலான்னு இருக்கேன். அது வந்து இப்போ அந்த யூபிஎஸ்சிக்கு வந்து மெயினாக இது வந்து ஒரு இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒன்று இருக்கும். நீங்கள் அட்டன் பண்ணி பாஸ் ஆகிறதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இது இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டாக இருந்திருக்கும். இது படித்தா நம்மளால் கண்டிப்பாக பாஸ் ஆக முடியும் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒன்று இருக்கும். அது என்னன்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும்.
இது என்ன மேஜிக் மந்த்ராவா? It is like
ஒரு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்.
See, how to prepare for civil services, we have to do another class. But let us say you want to attempt next year. You decide what your optional subjects are going to be immediately, right? For the preliminary exam, you should, they say 10th standard level is the level of writing preliminary. Actually speaking, up to degree level, whatever is the syllabus, you have to cover. The preliminary is general. So you should have that kind of competence to answer general knowledge questions. For optional, that is main exam, they say it is graduate degree level or MA level. It will be slightly more than normal MA level. What I am seeing in our colleges, our colleges, they just, let us say, Akbar's rule in India, ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இருந்ததுன்னா அக்பர் இப்போ வந்தார், இது செஞ்சார், இது ABCD செஞ்சார், we write an answer. This is our MA history. You have to be able to analyze what Akbar did was right, was wrong, whether it helped India, whether it did not help India, what was the impact of Akbar's actions on the Mughal Empire, you should be able to analyze. So that is the key to the quality of the analysis will decide whether you clear the exam or not. The third is the interview. For interview, you should have a broad knowledge of the subjects which you have already chosen, you have written an exam. But they will also try to ask you cross question. Right? So, you have a ration shop, okay. Now, I want to open so many people are suffering without food. They will ask you, so many people are not having food. What will you do if you are an IAS officer? No, you should be able to answer. This is one. Then secondly, your question answer so 2-3 people will ask you questions at the same time. Most of the questions are the way I am teaching you. ஒரு situationல நீங்க என்ன செய்வீங்க? And the situation will be real situation, not imaginary situation. நீங்க ஏரோப்ளேன்ல இருந்து parachute பண்ணி எப்படி குதிப்பீங்கன்னு கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. They will ask you, if there is a migrant crisis or COVID crisis in your village, how will you solve it? Real problems கொடுத்து you will have to solve. So the mantra how to clear civil services, you have to study very hard. You have to study very hard for that period when you are 1 year or something which you are studying. You have to study very hard your subjects, and you have to have a broad understanding of everything. So breadth depth then you will clear, because competition is very high.
மேம் இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம் நான் படிச்சிருக்கேன். ஸோ ப்ரிலிமினரி மெயினும் நான் ஈஸியாக எழுதிடலாம். ஆனால் அதே இன்டர்வியூவில் வந்து எனக்கு வந்து இங்கிலீஷில் அவ்வளோவா பேச வராது, பட் புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். அதே நான் தமிழில் பேசினா அதனால் என்னாச்சு தப்பாகுமா அப்படின்னு?
No, better you please brush up your English skills and learn to speak in English, because அங்கே உங்களை இன்டர்வியூ பண்ணுறவங்க எல்லாம் தமிழ் தெரிஞ்சவங்க வருவாங்கன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. There may be 1 or 2, but there may not be. Everybody will not be. It will be a panel. So you have still time. Brush up your English. Now you can do it using YouTube also. You have to put in that hard work. That work for 1 year, 1.5 years, you have to put in that hard work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else? I also also will advise you, Bala, don't only write civil services, write all the different entrance exams. Insurance, bank, whether you pass or not, உங்களுக்கு ப்ராக்டிஸ் கிடைக்கும். See, whether it is IPS, IAS or any of the central service, the exam is same. So for that 30 services which come under group A, that is all India services and central services, examination is same. Ranking only will decide which service you get into. So there is one type of preparation only required. So that if you do, you will be able to clear. But when you are preparing, you have to prepare very intensively, because not because it is difficult, but because competition is high. If your quality is A and his quality is A plus, then he will clear, you will come down, because it is only on the basis of cut-off mark. Okay, competition, I think it is 1 to I don't know what 100,000 like that, I think now. Then roughly they take 900 to 1,000 posts every year. So you will have to prepare very hard at that time.
Valuation
காதுல வேலைங்க. Give him the mic, no? Listen.
மேம், தமிழ்நாடு எக்ஸாம்ஸ் அதாவது டிஎன்பிஎஸ் எல்லாம் கட் ஆஃப் மார்க்குன்ட்டு கேஸ்ட் வைஸில் பிரிக்கிறாங்க. அதே மாதிரி யூபிஎஸ்சிலையும் நடக்குமா?
Cut off mark is there. Cut off mark, see, it's not cut off mark. There are, you 11 lakh write the exam. 1,000 posts are there. So first 1,000 will get. After that there will be a cut off. It's a cut off based not on marks. It is cut off based on number of vacancies. So all the services put together, they will be recruiting 900 to 1,000 people. IAS alone, they will be recruiting about 100 to 150 every year. IPS will be again another 100 every year, 100 to 120. IFS will be about 25-30 every year. So after that, all other services, revenue, customs, income tax, postal service, ella varum. So total number of posts is about 900 to 1,000 in a year maximum. So that will be the cutoff. After that, you just go. Same thing, I suppose, even TNPSC must be doing. I'm not familiar with the exams, but that is the. It is not to be worried about, because I cleared in the first attempt. I didn't even have time. I had actually joined PhD, and then I wrote the exam. So it is not impossible to crack.
இது எங்கள் அம்மா ஒரே ஒரு இதில் ரொம்ப பயப்படுறாங்க.
எதை பற்றி பயப்படுறாங்க?
சப்போஸ் இந்த கரப்ஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் அங்கேயே இருக்குமான்னு.
என்ன
கரப்ஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் அங்கேயே இருக்குமான்னு?
கரப்ஷன் எல்லா இடத்துலையும் இருக்கும். நீங்கள் கரப்ட் ஆகணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை.
லஞ்சம் கொடுத்து உள்ளே போகிறதெல்லாம் நடக்குமா பாஸ் ஆனாலும் அப்படின்னு கேட்குறாங்க.
அதெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லைங்க. யூ நீட் நாட் பே டு பாஸ். தட் ஐ கேன் அட்லீஸ்ட் யூபிஎஸ்சி. ஐ நோ அபவுட் யூபிஎஸ்சி. பை ஹார்ட் ஒர்க் யூ கேன் கெட் இன். நான் எக்ஸாம் எழுதிருச்சு. A minister's daughter was also writing along with me. I got higher rank, I got into IAS. She got lower rank, she also got in, but she got into some other service, lower service. But she was at that time a minister in Rajiv Gandhi's cabinet. His daughter, I don't want to mention the name. His daughter wrote, she was writing along with me. We have done joint study also together. So it's not that you have to pay money to get into the service. After you get in, there will be corruption. Please don't take money. That is.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best.
மேம், மை நேம் அன்பு செல்வன், செகண்ட் பிபிஏ மேம். இப்போ பாவர்ட்டி லைனுக்கு கீழே இருக்கிறவங்க தான் மெயினாக ரேஷன் கொடுக்கணும். ஆனால் எங்கள் வில்லேஜில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மெயினாக இந்த ஹை பீப்புளுக்கு ஃபஸ்ட்டே வர ப்ராடக்ட்டை கொடுத்துட்டு எங்களுக்கு மந்த்லி எண்டில் போன மந்தில் இருக்கிற ப்ராடக்ட்டை கொடுத்துட்டு அது தீர்ந்து போயிடுச்சுன்னா இல்லைன்னு சொல்லி அனுப்பிடுறாங்க மேம்.
கம்ப்ளைண்ட் டு தி டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் கலெக்டர்
மேம். அது இப்போ எப்படின்னா இதுங்க மேம், இப்போ எப்படின்னா இப்போ நாங்கள் பாவர்ட்டி லைன் கீழே இருக்கனால நாங்கள் இப்போ இந்த ரெகுலர் ஒர்க் போனால் தான் எங்களால் அந்த வீக்கே இது பண்ண முடியும் மேம். பட் இவங்க அந்த டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் கலெக்டரை போய் மீட் பண்ண முடியல அப்படின்ட்டு வார்டு மெம்பர் அப்புறம் பிரசிடென்ட் கிட்ட சொல்லுவாங்க மேம். அவங்க கம்ப்ளைண்ட் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு நாங்கள் பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பார்ப்பாங்க மேம். ஆனால் அதை எடுத்துக்கிறாங்களா இல்லையான்னு எங்களுக்கு தெரியல மேம். பட் அதே இதுதான் மேம் நடந்துகிட்டு இருக்குது. நாங்கள் வந்துட்டு இப்போ போகணுன்னு நினச்சா கூட நாங்கள் போயிட்டோன்னா அன்றைய வேலை எங்களுக்கு போயிடும், அந்த சம்பளம் வந்துட்டு எங்களாட்ட இது பண்ண முடியாது அப்படின்றனால.
See, just open the Tamil Nadu food website. There are several things you can do. Simplest thing is to complain to the district collector. உங்களால் ப்ளீஸ் வெயிட் until elections are over. எலெக்ஷன் முடிகிற வரைக்கும் எல்லோரும் பிஸியாக இருப்பாங்க அந்த வேலையில். வெயிட் until elections are over. Then உங்களுக்கு என்ன 19th is the polling. After that, once the results are declared, they will be free. Go and complain. That is the simplest way to do. We'll just check whether online you are able to file a complaint. There is also this Mudalvarin Muhavarina in Tamil Nadu. There is a public grievance redressal. அதுலேயும் கம்ப்ளைண்ட் போடுங்க. நீங்கள் ஒருத்தர் மட்டும் போடாதீங்க, எல்லாரும் அஃபெக்டட் யார் யார் இருக்காங்களோ எல்லாருக்கிட்டேருந்து போடுவீங்க. Then they have to take notice. Simplest thing is to go and meet. There's district collector meet பண்ணுங்க. There will be a food assistant collectorனு ஒருத்தர் இருப்பார், அவங்கள மீட் பண்ணுங்க, இல்லை தஹசில்தார் மீட் பண்ணுங்க. They will give you a solution. If there is something happening, you have to go and complain. If you keep quiet, nothing will happen. And I won't say it's not happening. It can happen. Everywhere it is possible. So at least அவங்க இன்வெஸ்டிகேட் பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஓகே, கொஞ்சம் in India people are not used to complaining. So அவங்களும் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் ஸ்லோவாக இருக்கும். But you have to again persist and push. Try opening food, whether there's any portal for giving complaints. இருக்கு பாருங்கள், ரெஜிஸ்டர் அ கம்ப்ளைண்ட், அதுலேயும் போட்டு பாருங்கள். ஓகே, ட்ரை தட் till the elections are over. When elections are over, go and meet. Okay, go with the name, address of the ration shop, whatever details, give a written complaint. Okay.
மேம், நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் டவுட் மேம், கவர்மெண்ட் ஜாப்பில் இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு ரேஷன் தருவாங்களா மேம்?
ரேஷன் தருவாங்க. in Karnataka under APL category, that is we have to pay.
பட் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க மேம், அதனால கேட்குறேன்.
No, depends. See, the thing is, if the scheme allows, Karnataka we have a category called above poverty line. Above poverty line you can avail, but you have to pay the value of that. It is not given free or it is not given subsidized. You want, you can buy from ration shop, or like Shivaranjan said, you can buy from the normal shop. கொடுக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு இல்லை, இட் டிபெண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் த இண்டிவிஜுவல் ஸ்டேட். யூனிவர்சல் பிடிஎஸ் இருந்ததுன்னா எவ்ரிபடி இஸ் எலிஜிபிள். எனிவே, தேங்க் யூ ஆல் வெரி மச். யூ ஹவ் பீன் அ வெரி வெரி குட் கிளாஸ் அண்ட் விஷ் யூ த வெரி பெஸ்ட் ஆஃப் லக் ஃபார் யுவர் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் அண்ட் ஹோப் டு see you all next year.
இப்போ நிறைய பேருக்கு மனசு கொடுக்குற கேள்வி, அதான் சரவணன் என்கிட்ட கேள்வி கேட்டார். அதுதான் மேடமும் ஃபஸ்ட் என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா, எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இந்தியாவிலே வந்து யூனிவர்சல் பிடிஎஸ் வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டில் மட்டும்தான் இருக்குது, வேறு எந்த ஸ்டேட்டில் இருக்கிறதா எனக்கு தெரியல, நான் செக் பண்ணல. which mean to be nature, anybody can get the ration from government of Tamil Nadu while you are applying your application. That will be scrutinized by food Tahsildar. There is be separate Tahsildar for that one. It's a DT, Deputy Tahsildar for food supply and all. He will take care of everything. Will be processed and will be issued the card and will be allotted everything. In the website la neenga poningana, Tamil Nadu PDS, TNPDS is a website. There you can check everything which is available in that matter. இப்போ மேம் ஒன்று சொன்னாங்க என்னென்னா வந்து, ஒரு ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் விவேகானந்தர், இப்போ என்னோடய ரேஷன் கார்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரேஷன் கார்டு இருக்குது, ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டு தான், எல்லாருக்குமே ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டு தான் கொடுத்துருக்குறாங்க. அதில் ஒரு நம்பர் இருக்குது, அந்த நம்பரை நீங்கள் அதில் என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம், ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிக்கலாம், பர்மனெண்ட் ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா நீங்கள் உள்ளே போய் லாகின் பண்ணி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எனக்கு என்னென்ன எலிஜிபிலிட்டி அங்கே இருக்குங்கிறது தெரியும். என்கிட்ட கார்டு இல்லை இருந்தால் போட்டு காமிச்சிடுவேன் நான். அதில் வந்து என்னென்னா, எனக்கு எவ்வளோ அரிசி கொடுக்குறாங்க, எனக்கு எவ்வளோ வந்து உளுந்து இருக்குது, எனக்கு எவ்வளோ இருக்குது. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஐ எம் டெல்லிங் தட் யூ, கொரோனாவுக்கு முன்னால் என்னோடய கார்டில் வந்து இட் இஸ் ஆடட் வித் கோதுமை வந்து இருந்தது. இப்போ என்னென்னா, கொரோனாக்கு அப்புறம் கோதுமை அவங்க என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, ரிமூவ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. எப்படி ரிமூவ் பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா, while I am entering the things, I will be entering my personal details also. Personal detailsனால் என்னோடய இன்கம் ஸ்டேட்டஸ்னால் அங்கே என்ன பண்ணியிருப்பேன், அப்டேட் பண்ணியிருப்பேன். அப்போ அப்டேட் பண்ணும்போது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக த சிஸ்டம் வில் டேக் கேர் ஆஃப் தட் ஒன். யாருக்கு இது கவர்மெண்ட் பாலிசி முடிவு பண்ணுவாங்க, யாருக்கு என்ன கொடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது. அதை நீயோ நானோ வந்து எனக்கு கேள்வி கேட்க முடியாதுன்னா கேள்வி கேட்கலாம், எதுலன்னா வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் கேட்கலாம், சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் பேப்பர்லாம் எழுதலாம். வில் பி டேக் யூ டு கன்சிடரேஷன் அப்படின்னா அது மாறும். அவங்க ஒரு பாலிசி போடுவாங்க. அதே மாதிரி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, இப்போ கோயம்புத்தூர் லாகின்ல உள்ள போய் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சர்டன் டைப் ஆஃப் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் வில் பி கிவன். தஞ்சாவூர் பக்கம் போனேன்னா ஒரு குரூப் ஆஃப் ப்ராடக்ட் கொடுப்பாங்க, மதுரைக்கு அந்த பக்கம் போனேன்னா ஒரு குரூப்பு, தூத்துக்குடி பக்கம் போனேன்னா ஒரு குரூப். இதில் காமனாக இருக்கிறது வந்து அரிசி இருக்கும், அதுக்கப்புறமா பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வந்து அந்த பருப்பு ஒன்று இருக்கும், சுகர் இருக்கும், பாம் ஆயில் இருக்கும். இந்த 4 வந்து அக்ராஸ் தமிழ்நாடு எல்லாத்துக்கும் கிடைக்கும். மித்ததெல்லாம் ஏரியா வைஸ் அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, அவைல் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சரவணன் சார் என்ன கேட்குறாருன்னா, சார் இது ஏன் வந்து எல்லாரையும் கொடுக்கணும், இப்போ எனக்கு ஏன் அரிசி கொடுக்கணும், எனக்கு ஏன் கோதுமை கொடுக்கணும், எனக்கு ஏன் உளுந்து கொடுக்கணும், எனக்கு ஏன் வந்து பாம் ஆயில் கொடுக்கணும், எனக்கு ஏன் சோப் கொடுக்கணும், எனக்கு ஏன் டீ தூள் கொடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது. கவர்மெண்ட் சொல்லுது எல்லாம் கொடுக்குறேன், ஆனால் அது என்ன எதிர்பார்க்குதுன்னா உங்களுடைய பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன். உங்களுக்கு வேண்டான்னா நீங்கள் விட்டு கொடுக்கலாம். இதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வந்து உரிமை விட்டு கொடுத்தல்னு ஒன்று இருக்கும். இந்த வெப்சைட்டில் போனீங்கன்னா உரிமை விட்டு கொடுத்தல்னு இருக்கும். உரிமை விட்டு கொடுக்குறேன்னா எனக்கு 10 கிலோ அரிசி எனக்கு வேண்டாம், நான் வந்து அதில் என்ன அன்டிக் பண்ணி விட்டேன்னா எனக்கு என்ன அலர்ட் ஆகாது, அரிசி அலர்ட் ஆகாது. அடுத்தது என்ன பண்ணலான்னா, எனக்கு ரேஷன் ஷாப்பே எனக்கு வேண்டாம், எனக்கு என்ன பண்ணால் போதும், எனக்கு ரேஷன் கார்டு மட்டும் போதுன்னா எல்லாத்தையும் ரிமூவ் பண்ணிட்டேன்னா எனக்கு ஒயிட் கார்டு கொடுப்பாங்க. என்ன கார்டு கொடுப்பாங்க? ஒயிட் கார்டு. இட் இஸ் நாட் கால்டு என்பிஹெச்ஹெச் கார்டு. இப்போ மற்ற கார்டெலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 3 கார்டு தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்குது, ஒயிட்டு, க்ரீனு, அதுக்கப்புறம் ப்ளூ ஒன்று இருக்குது, ரைட்டுங்களா? நீங்கள் ஒயிட் கார்டு போகும்போது அதில் நம்பர் இருக்காது, என்பிஹெச்ஹெச் நம்பர் இருக்காது, அதுக்கு பதிலாக வேறு ஒரு நம்பர் வரும். ப்ளூவுக்கும் க்ரீனுக்கும் என்னென்னா என்பிஹெச்ஹெச் நம்பர் இருக்கும், விச் மீன்ஸ் பிலோ பாவர்ட்டி லைன்ங்கிற கேட்டகரியில் அவங்க என்ன பண்ணி கொடுத்துருக்குறாங்க. இங்கே என்ன எதிர்பார்க்க, இது நிறைய பேர் கேட்டே இருக்கீங்க, மேடம் சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கிறாங்க, என்னென்னா எல்லாமே கவர்மெண்ட் செய்யணும், தயவுசெய்து எதிர்பார்க்காதீங்க, நீங்களும் வாங்கன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. இங்கே என்னென்னா இதுதான் முக்கியம். இப்போ நான் முடிவு பண்ணணும், கவர்மெண்ட் இருந்து நான் என்ன பண்ணணும், அரிசி வாங்கணுமா வேண்டாமா. நான் விட்டு கொடுக்க கவர்மெண்ட்டோடைய பர்ஸ் என்ன ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும், வெயிட்டு குறையும். இந்த பணத்தை வேறு எதுக்கு அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதனால் வேணும் வேண்டாங்கிறத நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணலாம், முடிவு பண்ணலாம். எனக்கு வேண்டாம் நீங்கள் முடிவு பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா அங்கே அன்டிக் பண்ணிட்டேன்னு வைங்களேன், உங்களுக்கு வராது. ஸோ உங்களோடது தப்பாக நடக்காமல் இருக்குதாங்கிறது அந்த தம்பி கேட்டார். தம்பி கேட்டது வந்து மேடம் சொன்ன அதே பதில் தான். நீங்கள் வந்து லோக்கல் தாசில்தார், நீங்கள் நல்ல விஷயம் பண்ணுற பஞ்சாயத்து போர்டு மெம்பருக்கும் கவுன்சிலருக்கும் சொல்கிற, அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி நிறைய இடங்களில் பஞ்சாயத்து போர்டு மெம்பரும் கவுன்சிலரும் சேர்ந்து அந்த ரேஷன் கார்டை என்ன பண்ணுவானுங்க, லூட் பண்ணுவானுங்க, ரைட்டா? அதனால் நீ ரிப்போர்ட் பண்ணுறது ஒன்று. ரெண்டாவது, அந்த ஏரியாவில் தாசில்தார் இருப்பார், டெப்யூட்டி தாசில்தாராக இருப்பார், ஃபுட் சப்ளைங்க, அவர்கிட்ட போய் ரிப்போர்ட் பண்ணலாம். இங்கே நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வந்து நீங்கள் உங்கள் நம்பர் கொடுத்துருக்குறாங்க, அதில் போர்ட்டல் இருக்குது, எல்லாமே நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம், ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிக்கலாம். யூ வில் கெட் ரெமிடி. அதான் ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது கண்ணா. நீங்கள் நம்ப வேண்டியது என்னென்னா, நீங்கள் போடுற கம்ப்ளைண்ட்டு கண்டிப்பாக அங்கே என்ன பண்ணப்படும், கன்சிடர் பண்ணப்படும், அந்த பிரச்சனை தீர்க்கப்படும். இது எல்லாருமே மேடம் சொல்கிற அதே பாயிண்ட். நீ ஒருத்த மட்டும் நீ போட்டேன்னா அவனை டார்கெட் பண்ணுவானுங்க, பண்ணலாம், வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது. எப்போ நம்ம குழுவாக சேர்ந்து நம்மளுடைய ப்ரெசன்டேஷனை வைக்கிறோமோ அப்போ கவனம் பெறுவதற்கு வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்குது. எல்லா பிரச்சனைகளையும் குழுவாக போய் பண்ண முடியாது, எல்லா பிரச்சனைகளையும் தீர்க்கிறது தனியாக போய் பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ இது கொஞ்சம் நம்ம பொது அறிவு யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கணும், எப்போ குழுவாக சேரணும், எப்போ தனியாக சேரணும்னு சொல்லி. அதனால் இங்கே ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு போர்ட்டல் இருக்குது, இந்த போர்ட்டல் நீங்கள் அப்ளை பண்ணிங்கன்னா யூ வில் கெட் எவ்ரிதிங்.
Good morning all. So we come to the end of the Bureaucrat Musings session. நம்மளோட செகண்டரியோட Bureaucrat Musings இன்னையோட லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் we come to end. So we will already inform you that we are recording all your presentation. Class presentation யார் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்குறீங்க, கேஸ் ஸ்டடியில் எந்த டீம் நல்லா பர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க எல்லாமே ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தட் we are evaluating the students and we will inform you the performance. And one more thing I want to add. So based on ma'am's feedback, Bureaucrat Musings second year you are performing well both in the class interaction as well in the case study interaction. Ma'am very much happy with your performance. That is not only few students, all the students of second year performing well in all the sessions. So that is a very nice feedback for you people. Fine. So we will inform you after evaluation. We will inform you who are all the persons selected for the next level of leadership module next year. Thank you.